Hello students, in the previous lecture we studied something called as principle of superposition of forces, and in this today's lecture we are going to learn something called as electric field. Now what you need to understand here is the meaning of field. Okay, so field is nothing but a region. Which region? A region around an electric charge. So for example, supposing I have an electric charge, let's say Q. Okay, the region around it is called its field. Okay, so let's say this charge is the king. Okay, and its kingdom, the region around it, its territory, okay, is called as the field. That is, for example, supposing an external stationary charge is placed over here, this king will put some force on this stationary charge. So the region in which this one, that is the source charge, okay, which has produced the field, okay, this is called field, let's say field. Okay, so a region in which the charge, the source charge, can exert the force on any smaller charge, a point charge we can say, okay, that region is called as the field. Now supposing this stationary charge is kept over here and this one is not able to put force on over here, then the field over here will be called as zero, no field. Okay, so the field due to this source charge Q is nothing but the region around which, a region around it in which a force will be exerted on a small stationary test charge. Okay, this will be called as the test charge, this one will be called as the source charge. This is the concept of field. So let us understand from here, an electric field is said to exist at a point, so it will exist at this point if a force is exerted on a stationary charged body placed at that point. So if I place a small stationary charged body at that point, this one should experience a force due to the source. And that point we say that there is an electric field. Okay. So now let us understand what is electric field intensity. Okay, or electric field strength. That is how much amount of electric field is present at a particular point. Now field over here will be different. Field over here will be different, field over here will be different. Okay, so the amount of field present at particular point is called as the electric field intensity. How much intense the field is, how much strong the field is, or electric strength it is called. Okay, so let us define the electric intensity or electric field strength. So electric intensity or electric field strength E at a point is defined as the force experienced by a unit positive test charge placed at a point without disturbing the position of the source charge. So supposing in this vicinity of the source charge Q, capital Q, I put a unit positive charge. Okay, so the strength, the electric strength at this point here where this charge is placed is defined as E is equal to F, that is the force exerted on a unit positive charge. Okay, so divided by 1. So 1 is nothing but the charge. Okay, only condition is that this charge, that is the test charge, should be so tiny that it shouldn't be affecting this electric field produced by the source charge. Okay, this can't be a bigger quantity, this can't be a bigger charge. What will happen if this is a bigger charge? If this is a huge charge, this is a bigger charge, this charge will start putting force on the original charge, the main charge. Okay, and this one will start moving, and hence the electric field which was produced by the source charge will be modified, which we do not want. That is why this charge, the test charge, should be very small. Okay, the test charge, this is called as the source charge. So that is the reason the test charge should be very much small as compared to the source charge, just because this one should not be modifying the field produced by the source charge. Okay, so now there are different kinds of fields. Okay, so if a unit positive charge experiences a same force at all the points, let's say if this is the source charge, okay, and at this point, at this point, at this point, at this point on a circular surface, let's say the point charge Q is experiencing the same amount of force, the same x newtons. Okay, then this field is called as the uniform field. Okay, this field will be called as the uniform field. Now what will be non-uniform field? If a unit positive test charge experiences different forces, for example in this case, here it will be different, here it will be different, here it will be different. As the distance increases, the field will go on decreasing. Okay, so the fields will be different at different points. So such field is called as a non-uniform field. There's something called as variable field. Okay, if the field changes with time, okay, as the time increases, the field also changes. That is called as the variable field. And what is a constant field? A field which does not change with time, it remains same with time, is called as the constant field. Okay, so what will be the formula for the electric field? Electric field formula is given by E is equal to limit as Q tends to 0 F upon Q. Okay, what does this mean? Both the sides we have vectors, that is E and F. This means that the direction of E and F will be same. Okay, E will be in the same direction as F. So this also tells us that electric field is a vector quantity. It is not a scalar quantity. Okay, electric field is a vector quantity which has magnitude as well as direction, and the direction of this electric field will be same as that of the force in which direction in which the force is applied. Okay, this formula directly comes from your definition. What was the electric field definition? Electric field definition was electric field intensity or electric field strength at a point is defined as force experienced by a test charge. Okay, let us forget this part, unit positive, because we substituted unit positive 1 here. Supposing it was just a normal charge, it was just a normal test charge Q. Okay, so how the formula will be? E will be equal to F upon Q. In this case we had considered a unit positive charge. Here I am just saying a test charge. Okay, that is why I put it as Q here. Okay, but the condition I told you is this test charge should be very small as compared to Q. So how do we modify this statement? It will be limit as Q tends to 0. What do you mean by limit as Q tends to 0? That Q becomes very small. It is just tending to 0 but not becoming 0. Okay, Q will not be 0 but very closer to 0. That's what your limit Q tends to 0 mean. Okay, your denominator will be, that is test charge will be very small, maybe 0.1 coulomb or 0.00001 coulomb, but never 0. Okay, that is what this limit Q tends to 0 mean. So this is the formula. Okay, in the vector form, E is a vector, F is a vector, which means that both will be in the same direction. Okay, in magnitude, how can we write? E will be simply equal to F upon Q. That is the force experienced by this unit positive charge Q. Okay, unit positive charge, let's say Q. Okay, the force experienced by a unit positive charge is electric field. The SI unit of electric field is given as, from this formula, force is given in newtons, charge is given in coulombs. So Newton per coulomb is the SI unit of electric field, which is also said to be volts per meter. Okay, this is another SI unit for electric field. Dimensions for the electric field are given as M, L, T raised to minus 3, A raised to minus 1. This is the dimension for the electric field. Moving on to the next topic, electric field due to a point charge. We are going to find out an electric field due to a point charge. So for that reason, let us consider a point charge Q. Okay, so this is a point charge Q which is placed at a origin, let's say O. Okay, this is placed at an origin, and I intend to find out the electric field. Now this is a charge, so obviously there will be electric field which is generated around this Q. Okay, there will be electric field in the region. So I consider a random observation point P. Okay, at which I want to find out the electric field. So in short, I want to find out the electric field at point P, which is generated by this source charge Q. Okay, let us say this is at a distance of R. Okay, so let's take this as a distance R. That is, distance between Q to P is R. So now I'll place a small, very small test charge Q naught, okay, at this point P, which is going to experience a coulomb force because of this source charge, because I have placed it in its electric field. So my intention is to find out electric field at this point P here. So now can you tell me the force exerted on point P, or on a charge at which is placed at point P, that is Q naught. So the coulomb force F, okay, exerted on this test charge Q naught by this charge Q will be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q naught, or let's say Q naught and Q are two charges, correct? One charge is Q naught, second charge is Q, upon R square, let's say R cap. So R cap is a unit vector which points from Q to Q naught, okay, which represents the direction. Okay, where r naught, where r cap is the unit vector in the direction from capital Q to Q naught. Okay, now electric field formula is what? Electric field is given by F, that is the force exerted on the test charge, divided by the magnitude of the test charge. So that is Q naught. Okay, in the previous section we saw that, right? In this section we saw it was F, that is the force exerted on the test charge, divided by the magnitude of the test charge Q. Correct? So the same formula I'm using over here. Here my test charge is Q naught. Now let us substitute the formula for F. It is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught Q upon R square divided by this Q naught, okay, into R cap. So if you see here, Q naught gets cancelled. So what is E coming to? E will come to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q upon R square into R cap. So this is your formula for the electric field. Okay, where capital Q is what? Capital Q is nothing but your source charge now. Okay, in the previous formula we had seen Q was the test charge, the charge which you are getting from outside. Okay, and in this formula capital Q is the charge which is the original charge, which is the source charge, which is the one which is producing the electric field. Okay, so that is the difference. In this formula Q is the test charge, in this formula capital Q is nothing but the source charge. Okay, so now in magnitude, so this is in the vector form. In magnitude, what will be the formula? E will be equal to, remove the vectors, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R square is in magnitude. Okay, this is the formula in its magnitude. So certain things to note from this formula are, one thing is, if you see, E is directly proportional to Q. What does that mean? If the charge, that is the source charge, increases, magnitude of source charge increases, the electric field strength will also increase. Supposing you are asked, you have a charge of 10 coulomb and you have a charge of 20 coulomb. Which one will have a higher electric field strength? Obviously 20 coulomb at a particular point will have a higher electric field, that is electric field strength, correct? Because E is directly proportional to the charge. If the charge is more, electric field will be more. And if you see, E is inversely proportional to the square of distance at which the field is measured. Okay, so as the distance increases, the field will decrease. As you go far away from the charge, as you move away from the charge, your field is going to go on dropping, your field is going to go on decreasing. Okay, because it is an inverse proportion over here. Okay, the next point is, if you see in this formula, there is no test charge, small q is not present, so we can say that the electric field is independent of the test charge. And for this reason, you have to take care that your test charge should be small enough so that it exerts no force on the source charge but experiences a force due to a source charge. It should only experience a force due to source charge. It shouldn't be exerting a force on the source charge. Okay, so basically this is your q. I'll tell you again, this is your test charge, this is your source charge, this is your test charge. So this one should be so small that this one, that is the source charge, should be exerting force on this. This one shouldn't be exerting force on the source charge. Okay, so that is the reason. Also, since E is inversely proportional to R square, we have something called as spherical geometry here. What is spherical geometry? For example, just imagine 3D. Okay, there is a charge present over here. Okay, or let's say in a plane first. Let's say this is the charge. Okay, since it is proportional to R square, at every distance R. Okay, if I consider R distance at in every direction. Okay, this is R, 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 this is R. Everything is R. Okay, every distance is R, and if I draw a curve over here, okay, I'll get is a circle, right? So now the same thing, just imagine as a 3D figure. Okay, you have a charge in space here, and you take in all the directions, you take a same distance. So what you'll get is a sphere. Okay, around it, a sphere, right? So on that surface of that particular sphere, the electric field will be same because the distance is same from that particular charge. Okay, now electric field at this point will be same as electric field at this point, will be same as electric field at this point, this point, this point, this point, this point, and so on. Correct? Because the distance is same. Okay, so at one particular distance, the electric field is going to remain same. This is called as the spherical symmetry or radial field, because at that particular radius, at every point on that sphere, the electric field is going to remain same. Okay, now supposing we want to find out the electric field in particular medium. Okay, same as the Coulomb force, the electric field will be given by, for a medium, 1 upon 4 pi k epsilon naught, where k is the dielectric constant we had seen, q upon r square, where q is the source charge again and r is the distance to the observation point. So this can also be written as, we know 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught value is 9 into 10 raised to 9. K remains q upon r square. This can be written this way also. Okay, now supposing there are n number of charges present in the system. Now we had considered only 2 charges, correct? Now supposing there are more than 2 charges, 3, 4, 5, 6, n number of charges, then the electric field, how will it be given? By the same principle of superposition. So electric field at a particular point due to the system of charges will be the vector addition of electric field due to individual charge, taken one at a time. Okay, so the electric field due to the system of charges, let's say q1, q2, q3, q4 till qn, having position vectors r1, r2, r3, r4 till rn with respect to origin at an observation point p with position vector r will be given by, so basically it simply means that, if I want to explain, this is the origin, let's say q1 is present here, q2 is present here, q3 is present here, their position vectors is r1, let's say r2 and r3. Okay, and this is the observation point, let's say p over here. Okay, the distance between them from 1 to q, let's say, is r1p. Okay, this is the position vector. From here to here is r2p, let's say, and from here to here is r3p. And at this point we have to find out the net electric field due to q1, due to q2 and due to q3. So that will be nothing but E will be E1 plus E2 in the vector form plus E3. Okay, so in general, how will you write it? E will be equal to E1 plus E2 plus E3 till En. Okay, so substituting the formula, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught will come out as common. What will remain is first source charge, that is Q1. Okay, so Q1 upon distance between the source charge and the point of observation, point at which I want to find out electric field. So R1p square, position vector is R1p cap from here to here, pointing from Q1 to P. Okay, plus Q2, the second source charge, divided by R2p square, that is the distance between the two, into R2p cap, plus so on till supposing n number of charges are present. So Qn upon Rnp square, Rnp cap. Okay, so in general you can write it as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught I from summation Qi upon Rip square, Rip cap. Okay, so this works according to the, again, principle of superposition of electric field. Okay, so this is the entire basic concept of your electric field and electric field due to a point charge. So this is it for today. I'll see you in the next class.